Welcome to Set Free 24/7. My name is Robert, and I am so glad that you're here today, joining me on this journey through Proverbs. Here in March this month, we are reading a chapter of Proverbs a day to keep the police away, and that's the best way to be. We just don't want police interaction that end up leading us to jail and prison. It's not a way to live. And the book of Proverbs has everything to do with just basic instruction for living that ends up keeping you out of those kinds of places. So join me as we kind of go through this and learn a little bit about what God has to say. But first, we're going to see what Eugene Peterson has to say. He always has some fun little devotional pauses and stuff like that. I'm reading out of the Message Version Devotional Bible. If you want to pick one of these up, I'll throw a link down in the comments. But he really does have a lot of nuggets of wisdom throughout the chapters, and I've loved this Bible so far. So, this says here about the book of Proverbs, we have a motivation problem. Proverbs is a how-to book. The problem we have with it is that it tells us how to do something that we aren't particularly interested in doing. It isn't that we can't understand what the Proverbs say, it's that we don't want to do what they say, which means we have a motivation problem. One of the ways to deal with that problem is to see that the goal of the fear of God isn't competing with other legitimate goals in our lives, but rather it is a completing goal. It puts guts into the other things that we're doing. In a sense, what is being said here is that all of us want more than what we have. All of us are nagged by this inner sense of incompleteness. But Proverbs tells us what's missing. It puts a name to that meandering sense of incompleteness. What is missing, according to the Proverbs, is the fear of God and the knowledge of God. Life is far too complex to figure out by ourselves, but God will simplify it and show us the direction to maturity. He will keep us on track. En route, the track passes by some breathtakingly beautiful scenery, and for the one who trusts God, it is land for homesteading. I love the way he uses words and just gives you a good full picture of exactly what God wants to do and what he's trying to do through the book of Proverbs. So we're going to jump right in here to Proverbs Chapter 3, and we'll see what God has to say today. So Proverbs Chapter 3. Good friend, don't forget all that I've taught you. Take to heart my commands. They'll help you live a long, long time, a long life, live full and well. Don't lose your grip on love and loyalty. Tie them around your neck. Carve their initials on your heart. Earn a reputation for living well in God's eyes and the eyes of the people. Trust God from the bottom of your heart. Don't try to figure out everything out on your own. Listen for God's voice in everything that you do, everywhere you go. He's the one who will keep you on track. Don't assume that you know it all. Run to God. Run from evil. Your body will glow with health. Your very bones will vibrate with life. Honor God with everything that you own. Give him the first and the best. Your barns will burst and your wine vats will brim over. But don't, dear friend, resent God's discipline. Don't sulk under his loving correction. It's the child that he loves that God corrects. A father's delight is behind all of this. You're blessed when you meet Lady Wisdom and when you make friends with Madam Insight. She's worth far more than money in the bank. Her friendship is better than a big salary. Her value exceeds all the trappings of wealth. Nothing you could wish for holds a candle to her. With one hand, she gives long life, and with the other, she confers recognition. Her manner is beautiful, her life wonderfully complete. She's the very tree of life to those who embrace her. Hold her tight and be blessed. With Lady Wisdom, God formed earth. With Madam Insight, he raised heaven. They knew when to signal rivers and springs to the surface, and dew to descend from the night skies. Dear friend, guard clear thinking and common sense with your life. Don't for a minute lose sight of them. They'll keep your soul alive and well, and they'll keep you fit and attractive. You'll travel safely, you'll neither tire nor trip, you'll take afternoon naps without any worry. You'll enjoy a good night's sleep. No need to panic over alarms or surprises or predictions that doomsday is just around the corner, because God will be right there with you. He'll keep you safe and sound. Never walk away from someone who deserves your help. Your hand is God's hand for that person. Don't tell your neighbor, maybe some other time, or try me tomorrow when the money's right there in your pocket. Don't try to figure out ways of taking advantage of your neighbor when he's sitting there trusting and unsuspecting. Don't walk around with a chip on your shoulder, always spoiling for a fight. Don't try to be like those who shoulder their way through life. Why be a bully? Why not, you say? Because God can't stand twisted souls. It's the straightforward who get his respect. God's curse blights the house of the wicked, but he blesses the home of the righteous. He gives proud skeptics a cold shoulder, but if you're down on your luck, he's right there to help. Wise living gets rewarded with honor, but stupid living gets the booby prize. And friends, I'll tell you from personal experience, the last thing you want is a booby prize. No good. And that's the end of chapter 3. What stood out to you today? Any verses that maybe pricked your conscience or maybe just caused you a little extra thought? As I was going through, I marked a couple here that stood out to me. The first ones were the earning a reputation for living well in God's eyes and the eyes of the people. So after being released from prison in 2015, I realized that my reputation with people and with God mattered. And so I worked very hard to craft what that was and what it looked like. Trust God from the bottom of your heart. Don't try to figure out everything on your own. Listen, there's a lot of things I have zero clue about, but I trust God and he ends up making a way. He ends up showing me how. So don't try to get it all figured out before you start something. Sometimes it's better to just start and let God figure out the details along the way, because us humans, man, we can overthink something, overcomplicate it, and just get muddied down in the details of things. Don't do that. If it's something that God is placing on your heart, don't overthink it. Just be obedient and move forward. Listen for God's voice in everything that you do, everywhere you go. I love that. One of the prayers that I have started praying now before I go out into the public or anything, even doing this, is just allow me to cross paths with the person that may need it. Show me the people who need to be in my space and give me the words to say to however you want me to interact with them. Just give me those words and give me the opportunities to be your hands and feet and voice sometimes. It's the child that he loves that God corrects. Whew. Yeah, I read that while I was in jail one year and I was like, man, God must really love me because here I am. So, and the other one, never walk away from someone who deserves help. Your hand is God's hand for that person. Friends, it's not saying like you just got to go out and help every single person and just empty your wallet for everybody that you see that is in need. There's a lot of people in need. Sometimes that little helping hand is just your time, your attention, just sitting with them. People don't always need to be fixed. Sometimes they just need to be heard. And that starts the process. So, friends, that's all I got for today. That was Proverbs Chapter 3, short, sweet, to the point. And man, you get your daily dose of Proverbs, a little bit of wisdom, and it's keeping you out of jail and prison. So what's not to like? So give me a like, give me a share, send all the prayers my way. I can always use those. And I will see you here tomorrow for Proverbs Chapter 4. Have a great day.